All right, let's get right into it. We are absolutely drowning in information, right? Books, videos, articles, all of them promise to make us better. But here's the thing, just knowing something doesn't change a thing. So today, we're going to talk about the real journey, the transformation arc from just gathering information to actually taking action.
So why? Why do we consume all this self-help stuff, but nothing in our lives actually changes? I mean, this is the core frustration for so many of us, isn't it? You watch that motivational video, you read a great book, you feel super pumped for like a day, and then poof, nothing. You're right back where you started. That's the exact loop we're going to break down today.
Okay, first things first. Before you can solve a problem, you've got to know exactly what you're dealing with. So let's start by diagnosing this feeling of being stuck. Let's call it the modern rut.
So, does this sound familiar? You wake up and you don't really have a plan, no real direction. The days just kind of happen to you. You're not really in the driver's seat. It's this quiet, aimless feeling of just going through the motions, almost like you're waiting for some big sign or spark to show up and change everything.
And then there's this weird paradox, right? The lazy but ambitious trap. You've got these massive goals. You dream about starting that business, getting into incredible shape, making a ton of money, but when it's actually time to do the work, the energy just isn't there. And that huge gap between what you want and what you do, that's where all the frustration and self-doubt starts to creep in.
You know, a lot of the time, it's not some big dramatic failure that's holding us back. It's the small stuff, the tiny, almost invisible habits we do every single day without thinking. Mindlessly scrolling through your phone, hitting snooze for the third time, always picking the easy, comfortable option. These things seem harmless, but they add up, and they are secretly killing your potential.
So look, the most important thing to get here is that this isn't just you being lazy. It's not a personal failing. We're actually fighting against some pretty powerful forces. You've got easy dopamine hits from social media and junk food, literally rewiring our brains. You've got constant distractions pulling you in a million directions, and without a clear why, a real purpose, it's hard to stay on track. Top it all off with way too much information and a genuine fear of how hard the work is going to be, and boom, you're paralyzed. These are the real villains in this story.
All right, so we've laid out the problem. We know what we're up against. Now for the good part, the solution. And let me tell you, real lasting change doesn't come from some fancy new app or productivity hack. Nope, it starts right up here, in your head. It all begins with a massive shift in your mindset.
So really, it comes down to a choice. You're standing at a fork in the road. On one path, you're the information addict. You feel productive because you're always learning more, but you never actually do anything with it. You're always waiting for that perfect moment. On the other path, you're the disciplined actor. You get that clarity comes from doing, not just thinking. You lean into the discomfort and you create your own momentum. You have to make a choice. Which one are you going to be?
Yeah, let this one really sink in. This is the harsh truth. You don't need to watch another video. You don't need to read another book. You already know what to do. You know you should be working out. You know you need to sit down and work on that project. The real problem isn't that you don't know what to do. It's that you're actively avoiding how hard it's going to be.
And there's actually a name for this trap, analysis paralysis. You know what I'm talking about. You spend weeks researching the absolute best workout routine, or months trying to figure out the perfect business idea. And what happens? You get so buried in options and what-ifs that you end up doing nothing. This obsession with finding the perfect plan stops you from just starting a good enough one.
So the big question is, how do we break out of that paralysis? How do we become that disciplined actor we talked about? Well, this next part is all about the how. We're getting into the practical, actionable stuff now. It's time to build the tools you need to make a real change. Welcome to the path of discipline.
Okay, this strategy might sound a little intense, but trust me, it's incredibly powerful. The idea is to disappear to succeed. Now, I don't mean you have to go live in a cabin off-grid. It just means you have to strategically disconnect from all the noise. You make yourself unavailable to the constant distractions, the social media pings, the endless notifications, so that you can finally become fully available for your own goals.
And one of the best tools to help you disappear is something called a dopamine detox. See, our brains are basically hooked on cheap, easy dopamine hits all day long. The point of a detox is to cut off that supply of easy stimulation. You're essentially starving your brain of the junk food so it can reset. And when you do that, something amazing happens. Hard work, like exercising or reading, actually starts to feel good again. You are literally reprogramming your brain's reward system.
So, want to try it? Here's a super simple way to do your first detox.
For just a day, or hey, even a few hours, just get rid of all the easy distractions. No notifications, no social media, no junk entertainment. Let yourself get bored. Seriously, embrace the boredom. Because in that quiet space, your brain is going to start screaming for something to do. And that's when you channel all that energy into one single productive task. You'll be amazed at how your baseline for what feels good just reset.
And we can totally take this idea and scale it up. Think of it like a 7-day challenge to reprogram your brain. On day 1, you just meditate and get a crystal clear picture of the new you. Day 2, you break one tiny negative habit. Day 3, you add one powerful positive habit. And then for the next few days, it's all about consistency. No excuses. You're just proving to yourself over and over that you're the kind of person who does what they say they're going to do. By day 7, you can reflect on that new identity you're building.
Now, when you're picking what habits to build, you want to focus on what are called keystone habits. Think of these like the first domino in a long line. They're the habits that, once you get them down, they knock over a bunch of other positive changes in your life automatically. Things like rigorous exercise, reading every day, or getting your sleep schedule locked in. If you can master these, especially in your 20s, you're building a foundation for success in literally every other area of your life.
Okay, so we've walked through the hard part, the path of discipline. You've put in the work. So, what's the big prize at the end of all this? What's the real reward? Well, it's probably not what you're thinking. Let's talk about what real success and fulfillment actually look like. You see this number a lot, right? $10,000 a month? It's a super common goal, and it's a good one. It's specific, it's tangible, and yeah, it represents a certain kind of freedom. It's a great target to shoot for, but here's the catch. It's a huge trap if you think the number itself is the real prize.
Because the real goal isn't the number. It's about the person you have to become to get that number. Think about it. The money, the title, the six-pack abs, those are just the side effects. The real prize is the identity you forged along the way. To achieve that goal, you had to become someone who is disciplined, focused, and resilient. That person you've become, that is the real win.
And that right there brings us to a better way of thinking about success: mastery. See, mastery isn't some destination you arrive at, like a trophy you get to put on the shelf. No way. Mastery is an ongoing process. It's who you are every single day. It's about showing up, doing the hard things, and constantly reinforcing that new identity you've worked so hard to build.
So when you step back and look at what you've really earned on this journey, what is it? It's sustainable focus in a world that's designed to distract you. It's control over your own actions and impulses. It's a mind that's been reprogrammed for long-term fulfillment, not cheap thrills. It's a new, powerful identity that you built from the ground up. And all of that together, that, my friends, is what real freedom feels like.
So there you have it. We've laid out the entire roadmap, from being stuck in a rut to earning the ultimate reward. The time for just learning and consuming information is over. Now it's time to act. So the only question left is the one right here for you. What will you master first?